Ready.
Okay. Today I'm going to talk about an experience that I had in my life. Um, this experience was around the year of my 6th year in elementary school in the 6th grade. I believe I was either 12 or 13 years old. My mom, my aunt, and my cousin Lauren were on our way back from Tupelo. We were visiting my sister Jeannie and her husband, and we had had a fairly good time. It was a good weekend just as girls. I believe it was the week of spring break, so I wasn't supposed to be in school. And anyways, it was fun, but we were ready to get home, and we were driving back, and we were just talking, gossiping like girls do. And I kept thinking about the whole time. I was really eager to get home because it was hunting season, and my brother was waiting on me in the woods, and he kept calling and calling. He was excited for me to get home. Lauren and I were pretty close in age, so we had a lot of things to talk about. We had our Game Boys. We shared a headset. I think that was around the time where CD players were kind of popular. So anyways, we listened to our music while our moms listened to their lame whatever music in the front. And I did have my dog Daisy that I actually still have. Oops. Here's Daisy. Had her since I think I was in the 4th grade or something. But she was little at the time. And anyways, we were driving. We had been driving for 30 to 45 minutes, and we had just gotten out of Lee County, which is where Tupelo is located. And if you've ever been there, then you know that it's really highly police enforced, and you have to go really slow and go the speed limit, even though it's a 4-lane highway. But Lauren and I were trying to pass the time by, so we started to play card games, and it quickly got pretty boring, so I decided that I was going to take a nap just to rush the time a little quicker. And so I decided that I was going to lay on the floor and let my dog lay on the seat because she was acting kind of crazy, so I just let her have the seat. And I was little at the time. I weighed like 100 pounds, so I comfortably fit in the floor. And the next thing that I remember after I fell asleep was my Aunt Tammy, and she said, I remember specifically, she said, "I can't stop quick enough, everybody hold on." And that was pretty much the last memory that I have in that car. It was a Mountaineer SUV that we were in. I didn't fully wake up before the other car hit the side of us. Here is this is not her car, but this is a picture of what her vehicle looked like. This is where I was in the back, in the floor. This is where my Aunt Tammy was. My mom was in the passenger seat, and Lauren was behind the passenger seat. And this right here area is where the other car hit us. The next thing that I remember after the impact is me laying on the concrete. I looked around, and I thought that I was by myself, but obviously I wasn't. And as soon as I opened my eyes, I guess somebody noticed, and they came over to see if I was okay. And the next thing I remember is feeling my head, and it was swollen on this side right around the back of my ear. And I don't think anybody noticed specifically what was wrong with me at first, but soon the ambulances showed up, and before they put me in the ambulance, I noticed a little girl, and she was holding Daisy, and I was very curious as to what she was doing with her because I was younger and I didn't know if she was going to take her home or what. So I started panicking, and I ran over there, and I got off the stretcher and I went and grabbed my dog. And I don't think that it's very common practice, but they let me take her into the ambulance with me. They didn't let her go in the hospital because that's completely against the rules, but they did let her ride with me, and my mom rode with me in the car because she wasn't as hurt as me and my Aunt Tammy were, since we were on the side that the car hit. I was curious to know where everybody else was, but I quickly found out whenever I got to the hospital. I passed out whenever I was in the ambulance, and whenever I woke up, I was laying in the hospital bed, and I was hooked up to an IV, and I remember I had never really seen a bedpan before at the time, and so I didn't really know what it was for, but I quickly found out that it was for I quickly found out that it was for people to vomit in, because I immediately started doing that a lot. But I would vomit and pass back out and wake back up, and every time I woke up, I noticed that there was a different family member on the end of my bed, which was surprising that there was that many family members that came, since it was like 2 or 3 hours away from everybody. But I would wake up and see my brother Mario. I woke up at one point and saw my sister Jeannie, who had drove from Tupelo to where we were at. I woke up one time and saw my dad, and I finally saw my mom. And so I tried my best to stay awake, and my head was hurting so bad, and I saw my mom crying, and as soon as she realized I was awake, she started crying, and she was hooked up to one of those portable IVs, and she just hugged me for a minute, and I was okay, but my head was really hurting bad, and I had looked in the mirror, and the side of my head was blue, my ear was blue. I was so scared it was gonna like rot off or something. But anyways, we got my test results back, and I had an MRI. It was my first CAT scan, which was super scary, and I remember it being really loud. And anyways, everything came back okay, and I stayed that night in the hospital, and they let me go home the next day. 100% the wreck was the other vehicle's fault. They cut across median. This red is them, and this yellow is us. They were waiting to cross the median, and I guess they miscalculated what speed we were going or something, and we didn't have time to slow down enough. But that's where they hit. Tammy said that she saw him sitting in the median, but she didn't have time to slow down enough. So I ended up seeing one of the girls that was in the other vehicle. She was around my age, and it was kind of weird because I think she was on one half of the hospital room. There was a curtain separating us because I remember hearing her crying. I don't know, it was really weird. But no, we had no hard feelings towards them. Accidents happen. Anybody could have been doing anything in their vehicle. We didn't ever get the story of what they were doing, or but can't hold grudges against people. So my aunt actually got the worst of the situation since it hit, and she wasn't asleep. Actually, the doctors told me that me being asleep reduced the impact of the damage that was done to me, because I wasn't tense, and me being all loose and not prepared, my body handled it a lot better than everybody else's did because they were awake. But she had polio whenever she was little, so her leg was already messed up on this side, and so the wreck caused further damage. I believe she broke the top part of her leg. So she got the worst of it, but my cousin Lauren was fine. She just had a few scratches, and my mom was fine. I knew that my mom was fine, really, because whenever she came to my room, when she was carrying her IV stand, I knew she'd end up finding me some way, so she wasn't that bad off. The next few weeks after the wreck were pretty hard. I was instructed by the doctor to minimize my TV watching, which actually scared me pretty bad because I wasn't sure if it would cause me to be stupid or what watching TV. But he put me on bed rest for about 2 weeks, and I was really ready to go back to school and see my friends. But a few of them visited me, which was nice, and they brought me presents and a card, and the whole class signed it. So they made everything a little bit easier. I had frequent headaches for a little while, but the side effects started to slow down after a few weeks, and I returned back to school. The outcome of everything besides the physical pain is pretty positive. I'm much more appreciative of everything that I'm given in my family that I have. My mom and I are a lot closer than we were before the wreck. I really took her for granted before that time, but I definitely don't now. Overall, I would say that no matter what happens in your life and no matter what you go through, you should always appreciate what cards you were dealt, and know that any barrier that you go through, that everything will be okay, and your life can be taken away at any time. So I would say that that's the biggest thing that I took out of this, and I appreciate you guys for listening to me talk.